Between Dorchester and Bridport, either side of the main road, is a spectacular barrow cemetery. The Poor Lot Barrows are something of a Bronze Age wonder, and because they're bisected by the main road, people doing 60 miles an hour or much more, it's really difficult to visit, and the speed at which people go past means that unless you know what you're looking out for, you won't know what is actually around you, what thousands of years of history and special, interconnected, sacred landscape are either side of you. I like to think of this area not in a gothic or macabre way as a valley of the dead, just because of the sheer number of burial and funerary monuments along it. If you look carefully either side of the road, the barrows on the northern side of the road are much more depleted, ploughed out. In the right weather or in the right light, you can particularly make them out. But when I speak of the Valley of the Dead, it's a place of interconnection, of so many rites, burials, places where people thousands of years ago built these monuments to remember, mark the lives of people important to them. So besides the barrows, further back to the west, you have the enormous Bank Barrow straddling the ridge. The terminus of the Bank Barrow to Bank Barrow walk, which I've been working on and steadily placing onto YouTube. Back to the east, you have the 9 stones at Winterborne Abbas, the stone circle, again right next to the road and so hard to appreciate. Between them, you have the broad stone, a standing stone laid flat, which you cannot appreciate at all, even when you know it's there, unless you pull into a lay-by nearby, walk back down the road very carefully, and pull away some of the lumps of weed and overgrowth covering it over. The best place to go to park for the Poor Lot Barrows is actually to a triangle of grass some distance to the southeast, and then walk down through the woods. Do not attempt to access it from the main road. It is lethal. It is very, very hard to safely cross, and there have been accidents. I spoke with a landowner on one visit. And walking down through the woods is a very, very pleasurable experience. While you are at the Poor Lot Barrows, you may get some curious cattle looking over the fence. They were a joy to watch when I was there. I think it was either the 1st or 2nd of January 2021. But when you are there, just spend time to walk among the barrows. Look at the dips, obviously look at the mounds, look at the concentric rings around some of them. Look to the east and the north of the road, and you'll just become aware that there is so much going on in this landscape. As we're walking east to west along the Bank Barrow walk, this is among the last stops along that way, a bit of a detour off the ridge. It's also really interesting because many of the barrows are actually on the ridge ways, so that they are visible for miles and miles around, like we are here, or this marks our land, or our ancestors are watching over us and this landscape. The Poor Lot Barrow Cemetery is in this dip. It does become a very self-contained focus. The horizons are all very close. It is definitely intended as a place where things gather around you, enfold you, connect you. So if you do get a chance to go to the Poor Lot Barrows, go. Maybe choose a quieter time of day for the road traffic into the evening, because it's a really special place, and take time to curate the mood, the feel. Maybe even allow like an hour and a half walk down from the car, unless you are a walking sort like myself and are happy to walk long distances to go and see these places. Spend time mellowing in the landscape and then walking back through the woods full of the experience and the place that you've just been soaking in.